Oh, we down 4. Lou, what's good, Lou? I see you, big fella. No homo. Congratulations on your anniversary and all that. Nigga said romantic music was Dipset. You know. D Mac was good, D Mac. I need you to get on this platform, D Mac. Stop playing.
Yo,
You? You hear me?
yeah, I hear you. I hear you.
Okay. So, all right. So now my thing is I'm trying to catch up because I want you to explain something. You played
Got you.
2 years JUCO.
I played 2 years JUCO. Yeah.
Okay. Then,
After JUCO, I played at when I was done that year that I did not qualify.
yep.
I had to take the statistic class that fall again.
Okay.
So I was in Maryland for a year and a half, not a year like Missouri.
Yeah.
So I came to Cal Poly January in the middle of the year as a transfer and a scholarship player that I had to sit out that year as my redshirt year. So when I made that transfer, I had to sit out that whole year after Hagerstown.
Okay.
So that's where the gap was. And when I was getting ready to play again and I was getting in shape, that's when I tore my ACL in practice.
Yeah.
So I was like, damn, another setback. Fuck this. I'm done. I'm not doing this.
You checked out mentally at that point?
I checked out mentally. I had to. I went through a lot of different phases of what basketball really meant. It didn't matter anymore. I was like, you know what? This ain't it for me. I need to go back home. I've been chasing it since I was 17. I don't think I really need to. I'm 22 now, like a little older. But then my coaches, man, again, I credit the staff there. They was like, yo, you still on scholarship. We're going to hold you down, get better, put you through the surgery. We had great doctors work on my knee, and I got back in 6.5 months. Usually you take 9 months to get back. I got back in 6.5, 7. And I got cleared to do some stuff in the summer. And we went to Costa Rica. That's when it was my first actual college game. It was in Costa Rica. We played versus some pros. And I started, and I was in shape crazy because they put you through a lot of different rehab and in the pool, a lot of different plyometrics, strength and conditioning stuff that, again, I didn't even know.
Hold up,
Like,
hold up. I want to ask you something.
yeah.
Considering the fact that the D1 was right there twice and taken from you, right?
Yep.
We get to that point now, right? How rewarding was it?
Yep.
Saying to myself, you see, I'm glad I didn't give up. I'm glad I stuck with it because, look, I knew I can get it. You know what I mean?
To the D1?
What was that feeling like for you as a kid? Like, you know what? I'm going to get my opportunity.
To go to D1. So I didn't care what level it was.
Okay.
I was like, you know what? Meaning I wanted D1, but I didn't care what name was. I wanted that scholarship for my family. It was really my family first. When I got that opportunity and they said, yo, come to visit, and I flew out, and it was super dope, super great experience. I called my parents right after, and I was like, yo, I'm not coming back. Like, I'm staying, like, it's going down. This is it. So they were excited for me, and it was like, it was more for them. It wasn't like I was, yo, I did it. I always put that to the side, man. I never really wanted my family to like feel like I didn't do it, like I didn't make it. Yep. So I finally achieved that goal, and then I tore my ACL, and I was like, God, what's going on? But then I learned more and more about my body and the things that I'm doing, and that's what led to like my masters and learning about different athletes and muscle groups and imbalances as an athlete, like a lot of things that a lot of people don't know. Going to school for exercise science and understanding the body of an actual athlete and what can lead to major injuries and things that I went through as a player that I didn't know. So when I look at Cal Poly and understanding the people that I met here in the school, and I was just happy to be in this environment and know that everything was going to be good. Like I was taken care of.
Yeah.
And it was it. We had everything. We had the gear, we had the travel, we had the, all the, you didn't struggle to eat, you had the gym, you had the trainers, you had, the college experience was really here. Like, damn,
And
like
California.
And yeah, like it's really a university. Like,
Yeah.
you know what I was looking at. So I was really excited for that. And being
Yeah.
the starting point guard recruit that everybody was talking about that was coming from New York, I had a lot of buzz here. I had a lot of buzz on, yo, this dude is really coming, whatever. So it was great to have to finally accomplish that, man, and be a D1 player and say I did that. You know, that's checked off my list,
Yeah.
and I can live and say I've done that. So I didn't care much about the school name or none of that shit. I
Gotcha.
knew I was going to put on regardless.
Yeah.
So I played 1 year, Drew. I played 1 year as a D1 athlete. I played DePaul. We beat USC. We beat
No,
Fresno
talk
State.
about that first game
All
we're
of that.
gonna get into in Costa
Oh,
Rica.
yeah, good. Oh, I got all night. I made it for you tonight. So, you know,
Talk about that first game, that first college
first game.
experience.
So we play Menlo College. It's like a D2. They always give you an exhibition game. So I was like, you know, I'm gonna cook them. I'm not worrying about them. I'm just gonna violate them. I was in shape. Killed them by 30. We they didn't keep score in a sense, like we didn't care about that. I just wanted to get on the floor and play and be a part of that. It was dope, man. Hearing my name. I was part of the starting five. I was, you know, all of that. It was super dope to be part of a program that is a D1 and is branded that way. My second game we played San Jose State, which they in the West Coast Conference, I believe, out here, D1, and I went off, man. That was my first official D1 game. I had 17 points, and it was good to be the leader of that game and win, and then have a post game interview with the little conference, and I was like hyped, like, yo, this shit is for real. You know, I wear ski ball too. That day I kind of went with a real low cut.
Yeah.
And I was like, yo, you know, let me just go out with this shit. So it was fun, man. I had fun my first game. And just turned up, man. I think it was a great experience versus San Jose State.
Okay.
Yeah.
And how'd that year go for you at Cal Poly?
Cal Poly was great, man. I had a lot of again, an underdog type of team. We won 18 games that senior year. We beat USC for the first time in, like, I think, history.
Okay.
We had USC in the Pac-12. We had them, and they scored 16 points at half. And I was part of that whole game. And when we beat them, we beat Fresno State. We played Morgan State, who recruited me in Vegas. I got recognition as the Vegas Classic. It was a tournament that North Carolina was in. We was in. Morgan State was in. There was like 3 or 4 major schools, and then they had a couple, you know, lower major schools that were D1 that was part of that. I got recognition everywhere we went. We played DePaul. I showed out in front of them. And that's when in Chicago, in the middle of my season, my coach came up to me and was like, yo, you know, you had some people looking at you this game at DePaul in the Big East floor. And I always wanted to play in the Big East. So when there was a time to play a Big East team, I was going to go at them. And we lost like by 5. It was a close game. But me playing versus that competition, it led me to a camp. They were talking about a camp what's the name of this camp? They invite mostly all seniors to get ready for like the G League and the draft and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
Again, something that was new to me.
Yeah.
So I was like, yo, I was getting my buzz even at a low major school. I was still getting the recognition that I deserve, and it was a great experience. I won 18 games. We was 18 and I want to say 18 and 12 or something like that. We had a winning season. You know, in the D1 level, when you get to 20 games, it's a lot. So
yeah,
we had a good non-conference schedule that had some type of validation. So the Big West Conference tournament, we won the first round versus Riverside University. The second round, we lost to UC Santa Barbara, who had 3 MBAs, pros. James Ennis with the Long Beach. Casper Ware, I'm not sure if you know him.
yeah.
Orlando Johnson went to the Pacers, and James Nunnally. They had 3 NBA guys that I had to go against, and we lost by 5. My semifinals, I was 1 game away from playing in the championship and going to the dance.
Yeah.
Who that year Long Beach State won it, which was Edison.
Yeah.
So they had a really good Long Beach State had a really good year. They played Ohio State, I think, with Evan Turner and them. in the first round and almost beat them, something like that.
Yeah.
But I was a game away from the dance. I was the dance meaning March Madness for a lot of people that probably don't know. But
Yes, sir.
That was really close, man. I was really close to doing that too. But it was cool. I had a great time. I played 1 year. I graduated, and then the national team thing happened, and that's kind of how I got into this professional mess.
So I was gonna ask you, while you're going through this senior year, are you thinking work? You thinking overseas? Thinking G League? You thinking like what where you at?
I was a part of an interesting dynamic of people that were helping me in college.
Yeah.
Like Eddie Lau. Eddie Lau is a big time scout in New York City. He actually was Skip to Malou's agent in the NBA. Eddie Lau's from Queens, big time dude. He was always helping me with like understanding like camps and understanding like the path to get to where you need to get. The NBA headquarters for the D League stuff, they have an actual application for you to put yourself in the draft. At the time, the G League draft, to get wet. And I knew about it, but I let my other guys that were helping me kind of gravitate, put my name in there, and I didn't do it myself. I didn't want to get involved on that side. So I graduated from Cal Poly, and I get a call from, the national team, Orlando Antigua. I graduated June 9th, and I had to go to Kentucky June 12th. I think it was the next day I had to like pack my stuff and then just fly out of California and wind up in Kentucky.
Yeah.
So the whole process of the G League and the stuff like that was going on, I wasn't allowing myself to get education through that. I didn't want to know about it. I wanted to let somebody that knew about it handle it and make sure that I trusted this person to put my name in, to make sure like what workouts I got to go to. I had 2 workouts.
Yeah.
I trained for the Sacramento Kings. I had a little workout with them, and I had a workout with the Warriors, which is an open workout, but then they cut it down. They cut it down to like the last 20 people. And it was great to know that I went through a reference and it wasn't something I had to pay for. It was a connected relationship that got me an opportunity to actually train with some NBA stuff. That was after the national team. So I graduated June 9th, and then I went to the national team June 12th, like in 3 days.
Got you.
Yeah.
So after your national team, after you get to the national team, what was that like for you? Considering the fact that you were born in DR, you know what I mean?
Yeah, it was big time. It was big time, Drew, man, for my family. My dad is in the Hall of Fame for the Dominican Republic for a different sport. So big into the federation, and he knows how important that was. And I was like, damn, I'm on a national team. Like, this is dope. Like, I'm gonna try to make this team. At the time, I didn't know it was like how a training camp where they select and they cut. I didn't know that. So at the time, I showed up, and there was a couple faces that I was familiar with, like James Feldine and Edgar Sosa. And I knew who Al Horford was. Obviously, he was there. Francisco Garcia. And I show up to the gym, and they're having a scrimmage versus some D-League guys. And I was like, damn, this is really here. But there's a lot of us. Like, it's like 15 to 17 of us. When I showed up, it kind of opened up some people's eyes. I'm not sure if they knew I was coming or they felt that, oh, he's here, and I felt like that confidence. Like, I'm here. I'm trying to, I'm with it. What's going on. So I watched their first game. They had like a little scrimmage. And then I went to the hotel and kind of figured it out, kind of what was happening. And that was really Orlando Antigua, who actually called me and told me to come out and be a part of it. And there were 2 guys that were injured at the time, which Edgar Sosa and Ramon. So me and Ricky kind of came in and replaced that, Ricky Sullivan.
Yeah.
And we played in, we went to Puerto Rico. And then we played a couple G League like scrimmages versus some G League guys. And then we had, I want to say that we had a couple other like inter squad scrimmages that they recorded them. And it was a good week and a half of some experience that I wasn't familiar with. My first professional game was versus JJ Barea. And it was the Puerto Rican team. And I started that game.
Okay.
Juan Coronado and I started that game, which is they kind of threw me in the fire in a sense, like to see what I was going to do.
Yeah.
That was it. It was a different shot clock. It was 24 seconds. You come up the floor, you get pressed. You got to get a ball up to Al Horford. You got to get out the way. You know, it's like you're not. It was hard for me to get that, again, to keep learning levels of the game that I was like, man, this is really a business. This is really a certain way to play. So that Puerto Rico showcase, I did okay as a rookie would do, but I didn't top tier take off where I wanted to, the missing point guard they were looking for.
Got you.
So they wanted Coronado, Juan Coronado, big time point guard in the Dominican national team. He actually was the one that led the group that year. We won a gold medal in Central Basket in Puerto Rico. So we played Venezuela, we played Puerto Rico, we played Team Africa. So we had like four or five games that were a part of that gold medal run with Calipari. You know, that's another thing. That Calipari was my coach. You know, you looking at Calipari, Rod Strickland, Orlando Antigua. You looking at Pat Siffield, who worked with the Minnesota Timberwolves, and you looking at Dale Harris, who was with the Lakers with Kobe and them. That was tough. And I'm over here like, yo, I'm really here with this shit. I made the team, and they took me to Puerto Rico's roster, and I was grateful to be there, man. We won, and that was it, man. That was when it transitioned to understanding the business side, the professional side. That was my first real, true professional experience, from graduating to a national team.
Yeah,
like, mind blown. Like I was like, yo, this is continuing to pay off. You know, I was excited for it, but that was it, man. That was like the national team experience. And then there's more little stories to that, but you know.
Yeah. Portsmouth, I think, was the spot you were talking about when you were senior.
Which one?
Years ago. Portsmouth,
the Camp Portsmouth, yep.
Yeah.
In Dallas, Texas.
Mm-hmm.
So they had a couple different ones. So that was introduced to me to like, yo, you getting invited. You got to go to this. This is great for you. Eddie Lau was helping me a lot with this. And that's how I got familiar with it. That's how I got familiar with understanding like the G League and the NBA process. And when I got back from the national team, I was like, okay, this is what I'm gonna do. So I went to a couple tryouts, and I did my thing, man. I didn't get cut from those tryouts. I was there. I was in the mix. I still talk to a couple people that actually are directors and camp directors that work with those G League teams to this day. You know, so I've won. I've made it in the sense that I built those relationships and they long lasting to this day.
Absolutely.
A lot of people that I know, people will be surprised, man, that are in the NBA and G League and things that ultimately is all part of basketball. I got made it out somehow, you know. So
yeah, absolutely.
I'm grateful for that.
So, not to run down every single stop you made.
All of them, I think. It's more, but who knows?
No, I'm talking about as far as a pro, right?
Okay, go ahead. Yeah.
Favorite country?
So I went to, I would say, Cyprus, Greece. That was after my national team experience. My first contract was in Europe to Cyprus, Greece. That was like right next to Turkey and it was a little island outside of Turkey and Greece. It's called Cyprus.
Yes.
From there, you kind of branch off to a Turkey league or a Greece league, one of the topper leagues. So that was like that was beautiful, man. It was like the beaches were different. You know, the people were different. They eat different. They don't care much about politics as much as we do here. Like it was like all basketball, it was grind. You know, the women were great. Everybody was great. You know, so
that basketball,
it was a great experience, man. Respectfully to all of those aspects, having to experience that, yeah.
What was that What was the professional, like you overseas now, like overseas? What was
it wasn't hard, Drew.
that experience like?
It wasn't hard. I was actually always on top of the categories, like top 5 in points, top 5 in rebounds, or some in assists, top 10. Like I always made some type of noise with the team that I had, and we. What was it like? It was a G League in Europe, because you got to build from these leagues to continue to build your name, build your rep. And I didn't care much about some teams you go to and travel, they'll have a bigger crowd than others. You know, I was hyped to see those things and see those chants and hear that stuff. In Greece, that was big time. That was like, man, there's really something outside of the world that's, you know, it was crazy. It was 18 hours to get there. I had to take 12 hours to go to London and then transfer over to another flight to get me to that island.
Yeah.
Like another island. You know, I grew up in DR and I went to another island. So I was crazy enough to do that shit. It's kind of like military base to think about it now. Like, then you went out.
Yeah.
So it was great, man. But then I got introduced to the Latin American side and Dominican Republic leagues and stuff like that, and it kind of made me like understand now the professional side, how much of a business it is. You know, there's no fun to a lot of scenarios. You know, so that's my message. That's why I do the program I do. That's why I try to guide kids throughout the whole process, from middle school all the way to high school to college. Just teaching them all those little prospects, step by step, how to build your name, how to do it the right way, and actually end up. If you want to go overseas, you can do that. That's not hard. It's understanding the process. If you want to go to NBA, you can do that. It's not hard. I've been around guys that made it, and guys that almost made it. You know, and it's just knowing that experience in Europe was great. National team was great. Now I went to DR, and I was very respected there. I got my first chip in DR.
I was going to ask you, how did it feel coming back home, playing in DR and winning?
So in DR, they have two main leagues. They have a Santiago League and they have a Capital League. So I played in both. I'm a native, so I have a Dominican national passport. And going back there, you know, I was gonna play in two teams. I was getting two contracts, knowing in 6 months I was gonna play in two different places. I was gonna get a bang for the buck. So yeah, I knew money wise it was great. I was gonna be around a lot of family in DR. So it was good to see I have a lot of family in DR that came to watch me, and they didn't see me for a long time. And playing in DR was like playing in the Bronx, bro. Like, it was knowing that you had a lot of people in the hood that really fucked with you, and you know what I'm saying? Yeah. Like, so it brought me back to like fun. You know, DR brought the fun out of me. And my second year we won the chip, you know, and that was great to do that. Like, damn, I actually did it out here too. So that was it, man. It kind of drew out a little bit through the DR leagues, and I played in a lot of different teams there, like 4 or 5 teams, and a lot of different management, a lot of different owners, a lot of different team budgets. You know, some people don't got the money to get some Americans, and you over here with a different squad, and you got the locals acting crazy. So it's like understanding that side, the team budget, the professional aspect of like managing that. Yeah. I became more intrigued into like, yo, I want to do that shit. I don't want to play no more. I want to be that boss. I want to run that show. I want to structure what's right. Yep. I already done did some stuff. I don't need to continue. I love to travel, but I've done enough. I'm 17 traveling all the way through 28, 27. 27 is when I gave it up. 10 years. Hard. Yeah. Like, trying to figure out high school, college, pro, national team, overseas, Europe. Just 10 years was a lot, man. And I didn't give up just to give up. It was just a hold on my next contract, and, you know, playing the mouse game, trying to chase that bag that everybody want. People were getting lower contracts, and it becomes harder as you go. So for me, I gave it up and I started coaching. And that's how I kind of gravitated to this side of the world.
So when you were ready to walk away from basketball as a player, did you know that you wanted to coach immediately?
Did I know what school I wanted to coach at?
No. When you knew that you were ready to walk away from ball as a player, did you know immediately that you wanted to coach and work with the kids and help?
No. So my first coaching job was actually, every time you come back from overseas, you stay for a couple months and you get a little side time a side job or something like that. I got a job in LA as a 7th grade coach at a Jewish school in West Hollywood, very expensive place for a girls team. That was my first coaching. I was doing it to get some money in the pocket while I was home. Then I went and gravitated to a high school level, and I was a JV head coach at this area that I'm at now, at a private school. I got put on through the head coach called me, and there was a Puerto Rican kid that was really good that he wanted me to connect with as a coach.
Yeah.
He ended up going to Portland. He ended up going to D1, and that's kind of how I got into the high school level and took it serious. Like, okay, I'm coaching JV now. Like, let's see what this is about until my contract comes about with my agent or where I got to go next. There were always small pit stops that I told these coaches that I was coaching for, yo, if I get a contract, I got to shake. I got to be out. So they knew that. It wasn't like I gave it all up. It was something that I was doing on the side that became bigger than what happened. That was 2015, November 2015. 2016, January is when I started my 6-man program, made it a nonprofit, and we kind of took off with that. And I saw a different light. I saw a different light of life, where I wanted to do. So that's it. 2016 and on, I've been a coach since then.
Talk about that 6-man basketball that you started, bro. Talk about that.
So again, that I credit that JV season. We played, we won a lot of games, and then I was part of the player development process of this kid. I was going to D1, and we went and won the CIF championship. So CIF is like the PSAL out here.
Okay.
So we actually won another high school championship, a state championship in a sense. As a coach, I won that too, so I can give myself that credit. Say I did it as a player, as a coach, and then I got a call from my coach at Cal Poly and was like, "Yo, you need to move up to the college level, do the JUCO stuff, so you can get used to this, and then we can level up and talk about it." So I started, with 6-man kind of. From the JV and the high school guys that were part of that school, we created a club team, and we created different, like a LPAC, like a Gauchos, let's take them to a couple tournaments. And I wanted to, again, structure something I was already experiencing.
Okay.
I already did it. So 6-man kind of took off as a nonprofit, and understanding that as a businessman now, like, there's two sides of that, is for-profit, non-profit, right? So you are giving back to the community. You're doing a lot of things that are gravitating towards donations and sponsorships, and learning how to write like grants, for programs like this. There's a lot that goes into that. Those things were gravitating to my interest. I was getting interested in doing those type of different things while running a show, running a school, running a program. And we had a tryout. We took off. We had about 100 kids that showed up. We put them all in jerseys. We got the uniforms. We printed them. My kids are laughing at me, but I had yellow uniforms. I had blue. I had red. I never really knew what color I wanted to be. 6-man's name came about me being a help. Kind of like the name 6-man was like, I just want to be able to be a helpful, like, use the basketball technology term of that. And it just, if I could go back to it, I wouldn't change the name, because it just happened how it happened. I didn't put any strategic plan to call it 6-man basketball, but it's gravitated to that. We got a lot of kids in the program every year. We do 2 seasons. We do 4 months in the spring, 4 months in the fall. And the kids go to a lot of tournaments in LA, the Bay Area, Las Vegas, Arizona, where they go to camps. We got sponsors. We got a lot of people that supported in the community. And then the college here, there's 2 junior colleges. They are coaches to that program. So they got a job for the program, and they work for the program, and they connect the kids through that process of being a college athlete and student athlete and academics. And I got a lot of these guys being leaders now that I'm happy to say I got an alumni. I got an alumni with 6-man, with kids that went to D1, D2. I got kids that are actors now. I got a kid that just signed, two twins just signed to a Disney movie. So, like, there's acting, there's kids that do football in college, D1 football, basketball. So we got a lot of different kids that are doing good shit as alumni that came through the program. So I look at it like an LPAC, man, but I'm trying to refine it and make it more than what it is. And it's gotten its name, its respect in the state of California. It's one of the top programs. We just got recognition for that last month. After four and a half years, we got recognition as one of the best programs. California is made out of a lot of different places, you know, LA, the Bay Area, Oakland, San Jose, San Diego. We are in the Central Coast, so it's LA is 3 hours from us. We in the middle. The Bay Area is 3 hours from us. So we the central area where a lot of kids don't usually come out as athletes, as basketball kids.
Mm-hmm.
So this area is growing with basketball, with the community college level, and the club aspect. There's more club teams. I don't credit that to us, but I will say that we brought the fire, man. We brought a lot of chippy, you know, players and people that was not getting a chance, and they actually got a chance to represent something. So this community is a little bit divided, and I'm doing all I can to keep it together, bringing a different sauce to it, because there's a lot of feeder programs. Here we have a lot of feeder programs where they don't like the mix of a kid from a different school to a different school playing together.
Yeah.
So we don't, six-man is open to everybody. So that's why we touch so many kids. We got kids from LA now on the team. We got kids from the Bay Area now on the team. We don't really necessarily need this area to have the teams and things like that. So we branded as one of the top programs in Cali. And that's my baby, man. That's kind of what held me down and kind of put my life into a different perspective to get back. And, you know, getting recognition as one of the top coaches in junior college in the nation was big for me too, to know that I'm doing that at the college level and helped over 30, 40 kids get scholarships.
Absolutely.
You know, so my junior college is now top 5 in the state in GPA, top 5 in the state with players, D1s. We had 3 D1 kids go last year. Every year is a D1 kid, D1 or D2 every year. So this is my 5th season. I'm going in my 5th season through the pandemic and the coronavirus and going through my master's program, which I'm going to graduate in May.
Congratulations.
There's a lot of things that you know, I'm working towards that's going to gravitate me, hopefully, to make a trip back to New York, give it back to the East Coast. And I've done my time, my fair share, that even my kids here, they know your coach is going to do something else. So it's going to be time to move on. So I'm going in my 5th season. I'm not supposed to say that publicly, but I would love to move on with the college shit. But wherever that takes me, I think I put my fair share down here with the 6-man program. I think that's made a buzz in the state of California, big time.
6-man, the 6-man program. That's what age group?
Oh, my bad. Somebody was calling.
It's all good.
6-man program is from 7-year-olds all the way through 18. So we have a 3rd and 4th grade group together. We have a 5th grade team. We have a 6th grade. We have 7th grade, 8th grade, and then we got 3 high school groups. So it's kind of like divided in different places, and they all connect with each other. That, you know, the high school kids will help the middle school practices, and we make it the 6-man thing where you can't leave after your practice. You gotta, if you want to put in more, if you need hours of credit for your school that you want to do, you got to report in, like you helped a nonprofit, we'll give you that recognition. And a lot of it is a give back, you know, from other kids and other leaders and people that are involved. I don't really got to do much. I'm the head leader of it, but I'm very grateful to have other kids and people that are supportive like that. But 7 through 18, Drew, 6 or 7 to 8 teams. And we got like 4 or 5 coaches. We got all these volunteer coaches from the college. It's like 10 people that are helping. We got a board of directors. We got a sponsorship team. So there's a lot of things that through the website and through really, really digging in, there's a lot of work that we put in, that I put in with this stuff. And I credit the kids, the parents, and everybody else. But this program has really taught me a lot to take it to a different state, to take it to a different place, which I'm working on with some people in New York to make it happen. You know, Scott LaRock and some people back home that have talked to me and being a part of the New York brand that I'm really pushing forward to do, and take it into a different light, that there is another side in the West Coast. There is another opportunity in a different area of basketball, you know. So that's what Six Man is, you know, connecting that experience to a program. So yeah.
What's been more challenging for you? Basketball as a player or basketball as a coach?
Oh shit, man. You know, I would say honestly, I would say it's really as a coach, because I know what I gotta accomplish. Whereas a basketball player, there was a lot of different places that I had to try to figure out all off the rip, like Missouri off the rip, North Carolina off the rip. It was more like a fun game. It wasn't really like, this is strategic. You know, recruiting is strategic. You know, I'm the head assistant and the lead recruit coordinator at my college, you know, and I got to be able to gravitate to families and talk to parents and talk to kids and talk to the AAU coaches and connect with everything they do, how they wake up, how they go to sleep, you know, what their girlfriend is doing to affect their life, or what, you know, it's a lot that comes from a high school recruit. So that's challenging to love and feel like you want to get to know somebody, to bring them into your program, to bring them into your life, and then get them. That's challenging because sometimes you don't get all the players you want.
Yeah.
And that's the challenging piece, that you put in so much work and then you don't get them because you go to another opportunity that he finally calls you like, yo, coach, I made the wrong decision. So it always comes back either way, but because you give them that real, you know, conversation of what you can offer them. But I've had kids that chosen to go different paths and stuff like that, and that's fine. You know, that's part of the game.
More gratifying, winning as a player or winning as a coach?
Winning as a player, I would say, is more gratifying.
Yeah.
Because you talk your shit. You gotta talk your shit to your people. You know, all of that. So I would say that coaching is big. You win, but it's all a numbers game, man. In this level, in this business shit, it's all a numbers game. You gotta make sure everything is done right. So as a player, that would be that answer. Yep.
Most you ever scored in a game?
47 in my high school game. 47 points. Yep.
Got you. Hey, I appreciate you.
Yeah, man.
Well, we ain't cover that you want to talk about. Plug your plug. I kept it clean. You got that Dominican Wi-Fi, bro. Y'all can't be doing this, man. Good interview. Now your Wi-Fi went Dominican. Interviews with Dyckman Drew, man. Never fails. Yeah, Yogi, these dudes be coming for you, supposedly. Look at that. He left. Out of here. But that's all right. He talked his talk. It was a goodie. We'll get to this Laker game. I appreciate y'all, man. That was Amauri Fermin. You already know, man. Tune in or you losing. I'ma holla at y'all.